A world in flux headlines from around the globe. This week has been a whirlwind of news with major events unfolding across the globe. From escalating tensions in the Middle East to a looming hurricane threat in Florida and political upheaval in Thailand, the world is holding its breath. Let's delve into the key stories that have dominated headlines and shaped the global conversation. In Lebanon, the city of Tyre is grappling with the aftermath of Israeli strikes. Meanwhile, Florida braces for Hurricane Milton, a powerful storm threatening to unleash havoc along its coast. Tragedy struck Thailand this week, leaving the nation reeling and sparking protests against the government. On the economic front, Japan is implementing new measures to combat rising inflation. As the UN Climate Summit approaches, climate change protests have taken center stage in the UK, demanding urgent action from world leaders. In a bid to protect the vital Amazon rainforest, Brazil has intensified its efforts to curb deforestation, offering a glimmer of hope for the environment. These stories and more paint a picture of a world grappling with complex challenges and searching for solutions. Join us as we unpack these global events and provide the context you need to understand the forces shaping our world.
The situation in Lebanon has escalated dramatically, with the city of Tyre bearing the brunt of Israeli airstrikes. The strikes, which began earlier this week, have caused significant damage to infrastructure and resulted in civilian casualties. The international community has expressed deep concern over the escalating violence, urging both sides to show restraint. The strikes are in response to rocket fire from Lebanon into Israel, which heightened tensions between the two nations. The situation in Tyre remains tense, with residents struggling to cope with the aftermath of the attacks. The United Nations and various aid organizations are working to provide humanitarian assistance to those affected by the conflict. The escalating violence in Lebanon underscores the fragility of peace in the region. The international community faces the daunting task of mediating a ceasefire and finding a path towards a lasting solution. The coming days will be crucial in determining whether the situation spirals further out of control or if a fragile peace can be restored.
Florida is bracing for the impact of Hurricane Milton, a powerful storm churning its way towards the state's western coast. With winds exceeding 100 miles per hour, Hurricane Milton is projected to make landfall within the next 24 hours, prompting widespread evacuations. Coastal communities are particularly vulnerable to the storm's fury, facing the threat of storm surge, high winds, and heavy rainfall. Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency for the affected counties, mobilizing resources and urging residents to heed evacuation orders. Schools and businesses have shut down in anticipation of the storm's arrival. Emergency shelters have been set up across the region to provide safe haven for those displaced by the hurricane. Hurricane Milton serves as a stark reminder of the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, likely exacerbated by climate change. The storm's impact on Florida is expected to be significant, with potential for widespread flooding, power outages, and property damage. The coming days will reveal the true extent of Hurricane Milton's wrath and the long road to recovery that lies ahead for Florida.
Thailand is grappling with a national tragedy following a horrific incident that claimed the lives of dozens of people. The incident, which occurred in a specific location, has sent shockwaves throughout the country and sparked outrage and protests against the government. While details surrounding the tragedy are still emerging, the incident has ignited long-simmering tensions within Thai society. Protesters have taken to the streets in major cities, demanding accountability and transparency from the government. They accuse the authorities of mishandling the situation and failing to address systemic issues that contributed to the tragedy. The government has responded by deploying security forces to maintain order and promising a thorough investigation. The tragedy in Thailand highlights the deep divisions within the country and the challenges facing its leadership. It remains to be seen how the government will address the protesters' demands and work towards healing the nation. The coming days will be crucial in determining whether Thailand can find a path towards unity and reconciliation, or if the tragedy will further exacerbate existing tensions.